Awesome. I will call our meeting to order. And we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're gonna have roll call, please.
Yes, Chair Irwin,
Here.
Vice Chair Mounts,
Here.
Director Carhart,
Here.
Director Manny here, Director O'Farrell is absent.
Okay, excellent. Let's move to presentations, proclamations, and recognitions. I see we have 2025 annual report followed by an introduction of new staff.
Yes, board, we do have an annual report here, and I believe Nick is doing that, and it's his team, so. Leave it up to him. And
Good evening, board of directors, Nick Davison, Recreation Manager. I think we got the presentation going. Maybe,
on there.
Ian, does it get larger or is that gonna be the size?
If we can get it full screen, that'd be great. Awesome,
There it
thanks.
is.
Thank you.
Awesome. So each year we do, for the past 5 years or so, we've been doing an annual review of the park district, and it's just highlighting our accomplishments and achievements that we've done throughout the year. Of course, not everything that we do is highlighted in this document, but we try to get the monumental ones in here. This packet is distributed to the community via social media and on our website, so it is public facing. You do have it here in front of you if you want to look at the whole document. I'll kind of go through here slide by slide, starting with probably our most prominent achievement of 2025, and that's going to be the Village Park renovation, completion of the Village Park and the Performing Arts Center. This is a culmination of the Measure J bond that was approved by voters back in 2018. And to date, it is the district's largest capital investment. And as you all know, it's been very well received by the community. A lot of programs and events out there in the about 3.5 months that's been open. We're excited to do a lot more programming there as we progress in 2026. But we'll get into a little bit more here what we have done in 2025 in those spaces. But first we'll go into the Parks Maintenance Department. Parks Maintenance, they're the unsung heroes of the Park District. They make it all happen for everything that we do for our recreational programs. They provide support for all the events and programs, as well as, you know, the maintenance within the parks too. Some of the stuff that they have completed throughout this year is district-wide trimming and turf maintenance. They've eliminated 35 potential trip hazards, reconditioned playgrounds, safety servicing at a variety of different parks, installed a new concrete pad picnic table at the Spike Park. That's been great. We're not only just to provide shade for guests and visitors to the park, but also allows us to use as a rentable space for birthday parties for those that like to have parties at the bike park. They repaired all vertical signage and restored barriers around the entire site and restriped the banister parking lot. And then moving on to community events. Community events is kind of like the heartbeat of the park district. Probably one thing we're most well known for is our community events when people think of the park district. In 2025, it marked the 20th anniversary of the Fair Chicken Festival. Which I think I've been here now for 17 of the chicken festivals. So I've seen that kind of develop over the years, and it's really grown to be, you know, something amazing. And it always has been, but year after year, new activities, elements get added. And one thing that, you know, kind of stood out this year that people may not see just as an attendee is how much money it raised for nonprofit groups. Nonprofit groups netted over 20 grand this year at a chicken festival. So really great thing for the community. Clubs in the Park, I went a 9-week series, drawing over 2,000 attendees, supported by a grant through Arts in California Parks. They helped us put that on this year by providing funding through a grant. This program or event was supposed to occur here in Village Park, but unfortunately due to delays of construction, it occurred at, all but one occurred at Fair Oaks Park. We had one final concert here in Village. And then lastly, the street lighting returned to Village Park. I think majority of you were there, if not all, but y'all heard about it, and how great and fantastic it was, and how it was just a great way to kick off the holiday season. Moving on here, recreation programming. So some 2025 revenue numbers, classes and programs, brought in just shy of $389,000. Facility rentals, $109,417. Community events, $64,899. So numbers are really good this year, really positive, and we expect that to continue to grow as we're back into these new spaces here in the village. Camp Fair Oaks saw over 200 campers participating in 17 weeks of camp. A lot of times you think of Camp Fair Oaks, you think of just the summer, but we provide camps throughout the year for different breaks like President's break, spring break, winter breaks, and all that. So yeah, really good numbers this year for camp. And then we had 65 participants and our students in our Fair Oaks preschool program. And then Fair Oaks Youth Advisory Board made a positive impact in the community and gave life skills. They also help us out at many of the events that we put on for the community. And through that and other service projects, they gain valuable lessons that will help them throughout their lives. The Racial and Developmental Scholarship, we have now awarded over $40,000 since the inception of that scholarship in 2014. And then our youth and adult sports programs, or I should say just sports leagues. We had 81 total teams throughout the year through adult softball, junior NFL flag football, and the soccer program that we do with St. William Unified School District. And then facility rentals, we saw an increase in rentals. Primarily, we saw a huge influx with these facilities here opening up. We've got just numerous calls a day and emails inquiring about these spaces. And as more and more people start seeing them, I think we're going to get more and more rentals as we progress in 2026. But we had quite a few just in a short time that we've been opening. And then arts and entertainment. The Garden Gallifrey Arts brought in 128 attendees together to celebrate and promote the arts and raise money for the arts in Fair Oaks. We'll get into the numbers here on the next slide, but I think all of you either attended this last year or have attended in the past, so you know how amazing and picturesque that the gardens are there at Fair Oaks Park and Horticultural Center. It's a really great spot to have a dinner and promote the arts and a fun reason to go. And then we had the grand opening celebration that drew approximately 2,000 attendees with 19 different performances over, if you remember, it was a 4-day grand opening event that we held, which was quite a lot of fun and really kicked off a great celebration for the new facilities. And one of those events was the first annual folk festival, which had 8 bands and approximately 500 attendees. And I know we're working on year 2 and excited to bring that back to the community. And a little bit of the numbers for arts and entertainment. In the short time that the facilities here have been open, the Fair Oaks Performing Arts Center, October through December, the number of tickets sold are 3,200, with ticket sales of 87,537 and concessions of 13,755. So pretty impressive in a very short amount of time. So seeing a full year is going to be really exciting here in 2026. The number of attendees at the Garden Gallifrey Arts, 128, as I mentioned, and the funds that were raised from the event this last year were $10,766. Their charity dedication program had 18 donors, generating $11,000 in revenue. And they offered new classes, 17 of them, which was a revenue of $29,000. And those were a combination of visual and performing arts.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
And Jen might be able to answer this better. On the chair dedication, that was just for 2025, right? We've had more chairs yet. How many total have we sold?
think it's close to 30 at this point, but I
Great.
have to double check.
And I mean, we have the bandwidth and opportunity for,
Yeah.
like, a couple.
400.
Yeah,
That
crazy.
would be decent.
Yeah, we want.
Awesome, let's-
It's a bad, we've been busy on the far end ones.
Do we-
See, summer comes too, and you're open and you're back. We only did 3 shows.
Right,
in the amphitheater.
And we have that though, where we can have that as like an advertisement, right?
Yeah, it's already, it's
Okay.
in the programs already, so
Awesome.
they,
And marketing, I'm sure we,
yeah.
great.
Cool. Lastly here is our administration, which is the backbone of the park district. We have some budget success achieving a $352,000 surplus through conservative budgeting. Through this time of doing this whole entire project, which is really impressive. New framework, adopting 3 new key policies of donations, public art, and tree protection to increase transparency. Grant management, if you recall from last year's presentation, we in 2024 had brought in just shy of $2 million in grants. And if you've dealt with grants before, you probably know that managing the grants is much harder than usually getting the grants. So we had to deal with that this year, and staff did a fantastic job ensuring that everything was aligned to meet the grant needs. And then lastly here, foundation growth, so revised bylaws and restructure the foundation board launching in 2026 to modernize fundraising efforts for our foundation. And then my final page here is just FRPD by the numbers. We include this each year, just some of it is going to be repetitive from each year unless we get new parks or amenities within them. But then there's some other numbers here that's expected or average attendance of events, volunteer hours and stuff like that. I always like to see our volunteer hours. We had 626 hours this year of volunteers helping with our programs and our events. We definitely appreciate our volunteers, and tomorrow we're actually holding a volunteer social where we invite all of our past volunteers to come out to recognize them, and also an opportunity for people that are interested in volunteering with us to come out and check out, see what we have, and also the other community groups within Barrows. So
When and where is that?
that is going to be upstairs here in the clubhouse, and I believe it is at 5:30. 5:30. That's it. Sorry,
That's great.
5:30.
That's good. That's awesome. On the amount that we had a surplus for the budget, have we budgeted that for our budget this year?
It's sitting in our fund balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Small question, you mentioned the money brought in by the concessions in the amphitheater. Was that the gross or was that our profit?
No gross.
That's Jim.
That's gross.
Does anybody else have any questions? Nick? Awesome job. Thanks,
Okay,
Nick.
thank
That's
you.
great. Thanks, everybody. Good job. Lovely. So let's move on to our introduction of new staff. Somebody would like to intro
I'll do that.
you?
I'm here tonight.
It's a first.
Good evening, I'm Beth Larkin, I'm the Administrative Services Manager for the district, and I would like to introduce, we have 2 new staff tonight. We have Eva Collins in person, she's our new marketing coordinator. She started with us just a little after the first of the year. She's already doing our social media, she is doing stuff on the website. Yeah. She put together that presentation that you just saw.
Beautifully.
She hit the ground running, she's awesome, we're very lucky to have her and to just welcome her to the team.
Yes,
Very
very
well
nice to
done.
meet you all on the board. Hello.
Can you just give a brief overview of
Yeah.
your background, where you come from?
Yeah, I've been in Sacramento 10 years and I've loved all things marketing since about the past 10 years, especially social media is what I started with. And then I started doing website design. So just love marketing and the digital ways you can communicate. And then I also, the past years, worked in a community center, the Asian Community Healthcare Center. So we ran all different kinds of events and, you know, from vaccination clinics to, you know, animal visits and all different kinds of things. And then lastly, growing up, my mom ran a K through 5 after school care program. summer camps, dance classes, all different kinds of stuff going on. So it was a fun mixture of wanting to dive into the market here.
Great.
Yeah,
Welcome to the team.
thank you.
Right. And then our second new staff member is online. I don't think she has her camera on. There she is. Your mic's not on. There you go. So this is Angela Compton. Angela is our new Administrative Services 2 full-time staff person. She is at the front desk doing our customer service. Angela has been with us since late December. She has already learned everything she needs to know for the front desk and is helping people and registering people for classes and selling tickets. She's also, she has a degree in English from Humboldt State. Is that right?
It was Humboldt State University while I attended.
Okay, no degree, but went there, English major, and has done a lot of proofreading, editing, all that kind of stuff for all the departments. So we're looking for many ways to use Angela's many talents. So wanted to say welcome to her as well.
Welcome,
Angela. Glad to have
Yes.
you.
I'm glad to be here.
Great. Awesome. Well, very good. Thank you so much.
You.
Lovely. We're going to move into audience public comment on any non-agenda item. We don't have any person in public here. For the audience, is there anybody online that wishes to speak on anything that is not on our agenda? This is the time to do so.
No, we haven't.
Okay, appears we have nobody, so I'm going to close public comment. We're going to move into our consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further comment or any questions anybody wants to discuss on the consent calendar? Nope. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wonderful. That moves and is approved. We'll move into new business. 7.1 Youth Advisory Board report, please.
Hi, my name is Claire Lee, and I am this year's Fair Oaks Youth Advisory Board. It is so nice to meet you all. I would love to give you an update of what FOIAB has been up to. So for the past couple of months, we've helped support the Village Park grand opening, the annual tree lighting, and just at our December meeting, we've helped organize sanitary care bags for those in need. And looking forward, FOIAB is so excited to go back into our service projects. Our entire board will be attending the Orangeville Grange Second Sunday breakfast this February 6th, as well, February 8th, sorry, and the father-daughter dance on February 6th. We are also beginning to collect donations for the Easter extravaganza, which is our biggest annual fundraiser. I'm so excited. And aside from that, we are always looking to focus on member development. At our next meeting, we'll be welcoming Jamie, who will run a mini enrichment session on financial wellness. And thank you again for all your continued support.
Wonderful, Claire. And how long have you been on or part of FOIAB?
I joined FOIAB my freshman year. I was vice chair last year, and this year as a senior, I am chair.
Awesome. And where do you go to school?
I go to school at Bella Vista High School.
Awesome. Great. Thanks.
How many members are in the group now?
Currently, I believe it's around 10 to 15.
Oh, you're good.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We'll move on to 7.2 discussion and possible
Thank you.
action on foundation board appointments.
Thank you, board. This is an item that is kind of preempting the Secretary of State. We're waiting for the Secretary of State to sign off on the bylaw changes that you have approved as a board, and we sent them to the Secretary of State. I don't have a time frame for that, so we're just waiting on that. But one of the terms in the bylaws was that this board, you as a board, can appoint up to 2 members of the new foundation. And so that's what we're asking tonight, that you determine if you would like to do 2 or 1, and then who those may be. Once you do that, then we will have the other person, we have a person kind of in the wings, ready to go. They will come to this meeting and then ask to be seated on the foundation board. This board will then potentially approve that individual. And then the foundation will have 3 members which then allows them to independently meet and appoint the other board members outside of this board. So that's kind of the process at this point. If you appoint two today, then we can move this we can continue to move this process as soon as we receive the amended bylaws from the Secretary of State.
Great. Doesn't appear that we have any person for public comment, either online or in person. Does anybody have any thoughts or particularly want to be on the board?
I would volunteer.
Yes.
I have foundation experience in Rotary Foundation.
Great.
I too would like to be on the board, so if that's good with everybody, I'll make the motion that we appoint Director Carhart and myself to the foundation board.
I'll second.
Wonderful. It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board. And as we get those amended bylaws back, I'll let you all inform me when that happens.
Thank you so much. Excellent. We will move on to 7.3, discussion possible action on approval of district administrator salary range.
Thank you, board. As you are aware of, the CPRSHR will be recruiting for a new district administrator, candidates for a new district administrator. One of the things that we need to continue to finish this up is improve a salary range. That is something that will be on the brochure and shared with the candidates. We utilized, to determine a possible range, we utilized the Arden Park Recreation and Park District Total Compensation Survey for general managers. This was a broad reaching one. It went all the way from the smaller districts to the mid-sized districts and even some of the larger districts. And that is an attachment here to your report. And I'll summarize it relatively quickly. Out of all of the district administrators that they surveyed, the starting salary was averaged at $123,679, and the top end salary was $148,621. That's their ranges. So there's people working inside that range around the area. Now, this was done 2 years ago, and within this framework that they did, they included a COLA, what they expected COLAs to be. They were between 3 and 3.5. And so we took both scenarios, added 3% to these ranges to increase them, and also added 3.5. We did 2 years of that because this survey is 2 years old. So we added anywhere between 6 to 7% on that. Once we did that, we determined that the upper range would probably be the most appropriate for what we've seen and the scope and duties of this job. So we're recommending that upper range. Within that upper range, we nudged it even just slightly more to be a little more competitive. Because of these new facilities, it's paramount that you all have a top-end candidate here that can successfully navigate all of the things that will happen in the next couple of years. This is a big undertaking the district is doing, starting a new division. That's something that is just, you'll never probably have that opportunity again here within your service. So we said to make this feel more competitive, we went ahead and upped that to a total amount of $132,500 for beginning and up to $164,300. You as a board will determine, one, if this range is adequate, and then two, when you do hire a district administrator or offer the job to a district administrator, you will negotiate within that range depending on negotiations. So if you're okay with that, we will then pass this on to CPR-HR and CPS-HR, and they will then finish up the brochure and get this out the door.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Yes.
One, we have other subsidies we give to the district administrator, car, phone, what else?
Tech,
do we
yeah,
have?
car and tech, which includes phone generally, yeah.
And then we have management leave and things like that.
Yes.
Are we planning to offer the same or let it?
Those will be negotiated during the offer process, and it'll be something that our recruiter will work with you on and the candidate, the successful candidate. And you will determine that. If for ours right now, it's about $6K a year. You provide me, that has not been increased since I came here. I've seen no reason to do that, but it may be something that would change after with a different candidate. So there may be some of that, and there may not be, you know.
And this, the other question, I think I know the answer, but this range is lower than the range you're working in right now.
Yes, I am working, at just over 185,000 right now. Yes, correct.
Okay,
And that was individually, negotiated with you all.
we'll bank the savings and get a new coffee machine. Thank you.
So I'll just go down if any of the other directors have any questions, Director Mouse? Director Tamani?
No.
My question was, what was the range that what was the range that we had when we posted
8 years ago?
8 years ago?
It was 125,000.
125
There was no
to,
range.
there was no range
That
We
was a
did.
baseline.
for 125. Does anybody recall what the reasoning was for doing a specific number versus a range at that time? Because that seems slightly abnormal.
I think that was recommended to us
Yeah.
by the agency that did the recruitment.
Did we get any recommendation or discussion with the agency? Because haven't we gone into negotiation already or paid for an agency?
Yes.
Already? Did we have them review this or give any feedback as far as
The salary range?
salary
No.
range?
No,
Yeah, we wanted to bring it to you first
Yeah.
and then.
that's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a reason though, bringing it to us first, then to them versus last time bringing it to them,
No,
then to us?
go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, last time, there was an expectation that there was not going to be an increase over what the previous administrator was making. And I think the consultant stepped in and said, no, you need to increase the rate, and that was his recommended amount.
Okay. So it was 125 when we put the offer out there, and so now we're looking at upping it from that 8 years ago or so.
Yes, so now you're 132.5.
132.5. And then we have that
On the lowest end.
on the lowest end. Okay, I mean,
Sounds reasonable to me, and if anybody wanted to check, you can go online and see the salary of all public employees at various agencies and districts, and this, from what I am aware of, is very
Well,
reasonable.
that's what this is right here.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
art.
I mean, not just this, but any government employees.
was there a reason? I mean, I was just noticing on this that we're not on there.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
So I thought that was odd.
We may have been an outlier and they opted not to put us in there.
Because I also,
That would be my guess, but
because on that, I don't know if anybody else on the board because the
Oh, they
thing.
have Truckee.
The thing that I thought was interesting too was it doesn't show what their annual budget was. And I do think,
No,
or
it
what the percentage of the annual budget, and I do always think that's an interesting thing
Yeah.
to note. Because, you know, it's like,
Or
again,
acreage and number of parks.
yeah, it's like, okay, cool, this person, it's 142,000, well, what's their annual budget?
Yeah.
You know, compared to somebody that's less.
and it may have been, they had a full detailed report. It may have been in that. I did not pull that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunrise in there, which is monstrous.
I know,
The stillness is huge.
I know.
So,
So again, this was a large study, so it's taken that.
But Orangevale isn't. So it's odd that we weren't
Yeah.
considered, we need to say that to somebody, but so then if we were to approve this, you would give it to the people that we've hired. And then would they give, because I would still want to hear from them as far as if they, you know, how they feel about that range, if they think that is good, or if they think it should be adjusted. So.
I can do that. yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I mean, if we were to make a motion to approve this, can there be something in there that with?
Yeah, and if there's a substantial change, let's just say that they believe it's too high.
Right.
We could definitely come back to you and say, they're recommending this range. And I suspect that you would want that in
And that's
in
kind
the
of
promotional
what I'm
material.
thinking
If
is-
they say it's too low, that's a bigger statement, of course.
But something to consider.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah, yeah.
That I think is important.
But we do want to keep this moving along if we can,
Sure.
because we are in a time crunch.
Sure.
And it doesn't seem like we will, but would be, but we are. And a lot of it has to do with whoever your candidate is and their time frame for starting this position.
Would you remind me, have we given them a draft duty statement?
Yes, you've approved
We
that.
have,
Yes, yeah, so that's
They
out
will-
there.
They will also perhaps edit that as well as for.
Yes, and they have given that back to us. There wasn't a substantial amount of edits. So at this point in time, the only hole in it was this. You could be a to be determined in there, which and nobody's recommending that. It just does not make, it doesn't make good marketing sense.
Well, they will look at that duty statement, they'll look at this, and I'm sure they'll comment if they feel it's way too low, let's say.
Yeah, I do want to make sure that regardless of what we say, that they know if they feel that it is something that should be adjusted, that is
Yeah.
brought up, right? So is everybody
Is this,
good with them?
yeah, is this the final step? Like, once we approve this, then it will actually go out? to
Going out.
people, So we,
Yeah, it actually is planning on going out next spring,
good, okay.
so.
Well, I would make a motion that we recommend to the consultant this salary range, that's a recommendation to them.
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion, second, any further discussion? As I would just say again, if they think though that it should be adjusted, I would like to know that. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Great. Motion passes. So the next similar subject line, 7.4, discussion possible action of approval of district administrator recruitment process and timeline.
Yes,
This is just received.
this is very similar. We wanted to get your input on a couple of items that the recruitment firm asked us to get your input on. One was the level of board involvement in the interview process. And the other one was specific dates during the week that they have allocated for the board interviews. So first, the level of board involvement in interviews, I believe, and my memory isn't great, but I think that the last time we did this, the Management and Personnel Committee did the initial interview. And then the full board did the second interview with the two final candidates. It's up to you how you want to do that, though. There
How
would
many
be,
candidates total were there?
We had two last time.
there were two final. I think there were several.
There were like 8
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Originally, and then
Yes.
personnel and, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever were those, two, I wasn't on that committee,
Yeah.
but they like went through all the initial ones and then those were selected too.
So I was on the one that interviewed two. I do not remember interviewing 8 people. I think they were pre-screened before they sent, the two candidates to the full
Pre-screened
board.
some and then,
But the full board we were made available of all of the resumes, and
Yes.
all of the letters,
Okay.
so we could see them, and so. That way, if someone had wanted to, maybe, or disagreed with what the committee had done, I believe there was an opportunity to say something.
Yeah, okay.
You,
Yeah.
you were there, I couldn't remember. You were there back when we picked,
Mhm.
the administrator, so was John, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Collectively, we should remember.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, so there will be an initial interview and then there will be a second interview with the full board. We had also talked about doing a panel interview with the management staff as well as an outside administrator from another district as a subject matter expert. And that will also be in the timeline, which is tight. It's quite tight. They're hoping to get the initial screening done by March 6th. You'll get a report after March 6th on the candidates. The panel interviews will be the week of March 23rd, and then the week of April 6th would be the board interviews. How that, whatever that looks like, whatever that makeup is up to you.
So, I don't remember how we did it last time. It's been so long ago, but I would like the consultants to form the basic questions for us. I don't think we want to try to invent those from scratch. And then we would be able to add additional questions to the candidates. And it seems reasonable to me that the committee might be involved in the overall screening, you think? And then come to the full board for the final decision with a reduced number of candidates, with a select number.
Who's on the management and personnel committee?
I believe it's Chair Irwin and Director O'Farrell.
And I think if anybody wants to sit in with the management, personnel committee, they can. I don't think there's any problem with that. So if.
Except for the Brown Act, you've got to be cautious of that.
So more than,
More than two, yeah.
More
You
than
only have
two.
two.
Three will be,
oh,
three will be the Brown Act.
Which you could do a
Well,
special.
You can do it, it's just, you just gotta be aware.
You just have to-
So you guys are management personnel
Yeah.
committee. It seemed appropriate that you exercise your committee responsibilities.
Totally, but I do think, I mean, I understand if you, I mean, I think any member should be able to interview them, either if it's going to be as a group and we can make that as a quorum or individually. I don't think there should be any issue with that.
Will we as a group see the questions ahead of the interview? Because I think that would be good. That we can pre-screen the questions and add anything we think.
Then we could also do the full list of candidates that have been screened, if you wanted to see that as well, prior to.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's
Their
good.
resumes and all of that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I do think the schedule looks good. Does anybody else have any thoughts, questions, or anything they want adjusted? Sure. No, okay.
To speed ahead.
Great. Do I have a motion?
Oh, it's a suggested motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed recruitment schedule for the district administrator position.
I'll second.
My motion that's been seconded. Any further conversation? Great. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
John's gonna be disappointed he wasn't here because this meeting's going fast.
And so let's go to 7.5, board vacancy appointment process and timeline. This will be received and filed.
Yeah, there's no board action required for this one, but it was requested by Chair Irwin that we review this. So at the December meeting, Director O'Farrell indicated that he was going to be resigning his position probably in June, which would give the board a vacancy. There are 3 options for filling the vacancy. If the board chooses to do nothing, the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors will fill the vacancy for the district. The board can call for a special election, which would then be conducted by Sac County Voter Reg. The cost for the 2024 election was $58,000 for a special election, so it's quite expensive. And then the third option is that the board can appoint a resident from within the Fair Oaks boundaries to complete the term.
And that's the way we've done it in the past.
Yeah.
There's several different appointments.
And then that term would be up for 4 years?
No.
Or
Term of
Election.
when is his,
Year,
oh,
finish
2 years?
the 2-year, he or she would finish the 2-year
Right,
term,
okay.
and then there would be an election. And depending on, there's a 135-day rule, and I can't tell you what it is, but he or she would either complete the term and then do the next term, or complete the term and then go to a regular election.
Got it.
So this third option has worked well for us in the past as far as I'm
That's what I would
concerned. The
support.
question though is, how do we advertise that? Is that word of mouth or is it?
No, we're required to post it. I mean, we're required to post it. That doesn't, you all can determine how you want to do the process. Do you want to interview people? Do you want to, is there someone specific that you want to appoint? That's up to you.
I think it would be best if we have at least a committee to review all the applications and do a pre-screening, because
Can that go to one of the current committees, or do we need to have an ad hoc committee for that?
probably the current committee.
Go to a current, which,
Last time it was management personnel.
yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Now, management, that would be myself and Director O'Farrell. Is there there'd be no conflict of interest at all with
No.
Director O'Farrell?
There's
Yeah, it's a slight.
legally no.
Okay, no, he cannot vote for the appointee.
He can help screen.
He can help
ask
screen,
questions.
he cannot sit in on your deliberations. But
But
he can
on
help
the,
screen.
for the committee, can he make
Yes.
a recommend, he can make recommendations?
Because you're not
Yeah.
officially deliberating.
Got it.
As a board, he cannot participate.
So then, as far as the timeline, does he have to resign for us to be able to post and meet with candidates?
No.
I didn't think so. So I guess my question is for the board, what timeline would you like to see for us to promote it and then review it to then how seamless do you want the time frame to be?
It would be nice to line it up as best as possible.
I
But
agree.
when is John's last board meeting? Is it gonna be June? I don't think.
He has mentioned that, now, there's no official at this
We need to do it.
time.
I think, yeah,
Yeah,
which-
April probably
April
to start
Mhm.
searching.
Yeah.
You think April start searching? I think that's too late.
We-
I mean, if you think-
John's put feelers out, I put some feelers out for potential candidates, for it. Now, obviously, it's gonna be your decision, but, if there's folks in the community that we recognize that may meet, some of these requirements and are committed to the park district, we would, consider saying, hey, are you interested? And you all can make that determination, but it is helpful to have, feelers out there to say, if you're interested, we're gonna have a board open.
Right, I just think that the management personnel committee should be looking at this in April with a recommendation to the board at the May meeting. Which means to me, I think we should have it posted for at least a month. March. I think it should be in March when we start that. What does everybody think about that?
Now, would they submit these potential candidates, they'd submit a resume or a statement of
That's what we did last
interest?
time. Yeah.
I think we should ask exactly for what we asked for last time.
Yeah, and very similar to what you did with the bond oversight committee.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great, so if
Sounds
we
like a
can,
good plan.
we can have that, that would be great, and I think at the end of the day, we're saving our taxpayers a lot of money to do it that way, and I think it's the right decision for us to be appointing.
So I'll make the motion that we.
There's no motion to be made, so we're just directing them.
So we'll direct on number 3, huh?
Yeah,
Good.
direct to number 3 with that timeline is discussed. Great, let's move to 7.6, discussion possible action on approval of a concessionaire agreement.
We put this on here not knowing if we were going to have the agreement ready to go, and it was not ready to go, and so this item will need to be deferred to the next meeting.
Okay. Well, then we'll move to board and staff report. Director Tamani, anything?
I do not, thank you.
Director Mouse?
No.
Director Carhart?
Well, just a couple of things. One, as you know, I go over to Gum Ranch Park a lot, and I'm sure Sean is aware because I know one big oak fell and was diced up into nice, big, huge chunks. Also, there's been a lot of erosion on the paths, the DG paths, so I just want to make sure I'm sure you are aware of that. And on a personal note, I want to go see if I have a plaque on my chair yet.
It hasn't been installed yet, because we covered the chairs for winter, so we'll put them on when we go to unfurl the chairs.
Thank you. You sent
We're
me a trip
keeping it
over
nice
there.
and shiny for you.
Not getting
So you'll be sitting in it.
I had another question, but I forgot.
Speaking
it, so
of,
I'll move it forward.
Speaking of plaques, we got our plaque up.
We did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I sent that email out.
yeah, I've seen the pictures.
you've been too busy.
Maybe that was
running
my
around
email wasn't.
Are we doing any dedication or anything like that, or is it just?
I would like a photo. I would like
Okay.
to have at least a photo
Yeah,
in front of it,
let's-
like a professional photo.
Yeah.
Want us to schedule something with the board?
Yes, yes.
Well, we want to wait till the weather's.
Yeah.
What's all?
Okay, yeah, okay. Spring.
Yeah, probably fine. Be nice if the weather was a little.
Well, I'm so excited, so it's on there.
It could have been even bigger.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan where we put it, but whatever.
Oh, we all support that.
I know, I didn't, but.
Well. Anything else for
Okay.
the only thing for me, for Jen, website, have we gotten photos and things up yet of our facilities for rental?
Yes, we have. There's more coming, but
Awesome,
there's pieces in there.
great. Cool. Okay, staff, team. Whomever.
We can do new board chair also. I guess I'll start. I don't have anything.
That's a good start.
I just looked at my stuff. I don't. have anything.
I also don't have anything.
I know Sean does all what let him go last. Jen, you have anything?
Nothing crazy, but we've got shows starting next week. The first event will be the Theater Oregon. We're doing a Laurel Party Film Festival upstairs. So it should be a fun time. And then we've got our shows in the Black Box starting on the 6th of February with a comedy and a concert, and a couple other events through until April, and we're starting to post things for the summer. Thanks. So.
Nick?
I do not have that bit. I was gonna miss the volunteer social night, which I already did, so, Heather,
It's great.
I'll stand up for mine.
Yeah, I know Sean has some.
Mine's a little bit bigger. Good evening, Board of Directors, Sean Ventura, Parks and Facilities Manager.
I did just want to give you a brief update on the state of this facility. As you're probably all aware, on the Christmas Day, pretty much, we had a pretty torrential rain. And the insurance funded repairs and hopeful fixes we had for the leak in this facility did not exactly take as well as we had hoped. So we have experienced another pretty sizable leak in this facility. My staff and I and mitigation companies are working towards moving water away from the facility and taking care of any potential issues here. If you recall, the last time was 2019 where we had a couple of board meetings where these walls were ripped open and stuff like that. It's coming from the same area, but with the designs we had and the work we did with Bovo, we had a best case scenario that it could potentially fix the issue. Unfortunately, didn't 100% solve that. So I'm working with gutter companies to attempt to potentially add additional gutters, increase the size of those gutters to move the water away from the one we have on that corner, which is currently heading right down to the corner of the building. We've pushed that water from that gutter away from the building. We've dug some trenches, put some French drains around that oak, and we were very careful of the roots. We did not disturb anything. We've put some flashing up around the building to push it away from the edges of the building, and we're working with mitigation companies to see if there's anything we can do within the crawl space, which is right above our heads behind that wall, which goes underneath the stage. So the district is currently working on a couple of solid plans to hopefully continue to alleviate this issue as we move forward. There's no way to tell for sure. So we're just going to keep moving forward, doing the best we can. And as was the case with the wall we put up out back, which was covered by insurance, if you recall, we excavated a huge 10-foot deep section, poured a wall, waterproof, put a drain, and pushed the water out towards the playground. This mitigation effort will, we hope, be an insurance issue as well, because it was damage from heavy rains. But just wanted to let you know, not that you would see anything right now. We're going to be probably tearing this wall open after the board meeting to make sure everything's solid behind there and do a little bit more mitigation up against the, if you recall, Ralph, you probably do behind this is the big cinder block wall. So we'll see what we can do in there, seal it up as best we can, and try and keep the water out.
Where exactly was the water coming through this time?
Had a lot of water right here. And as was the last time, right in that corner over there, but it traveled all the way along the wall and flooding about up here.
And where was the extent of the new wall we put in? Where did that start?
That is, so our HVAC enclosure is pretty much following this wall all the way out, maybe the front face of the bathrooms, which is about here.
So that,
And so that goes about out to, I want to say, either the corner or the HVAC controller there.
of this room, the corner
Yes.
of this room, not to the end of the building.
Not all the way to the end of the building. We didn't identify that as an avenue of water entering the facility. And it was also, the cost was going up and up and up. So it was kind of a question of, do we want to dig the whole building out and seal everything up, or go to where the problem has been? But it seems that potentially, because we have that big oak there with roots coming out this direction and that being open faced instead of asphalt, that might be where water is coming. We also have two gutters dumping right down in there, which we've
The
alleviated.
gutter solution sounds pretty good. I'd like to look at it too, but maybe the tree will die and it'll solve that problem.
Don't do that.
But yeah, we've up there around the tree, we put some fresh drains. We also have fully sealed all the cracks up around the HVAC unit. There we did find a couple that were missed, so we're hitting those as well, and just doing everything we possibly can. I do want to note that this happens only in extreme rain events. So it happened this year. The last time it happened was 2019. I think the last records I have were 2009, 2001, sub 2010. So it doesn't just happen in every old rain.
I think it's been happening since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just that this wasn't finished off as a room until 83, 84.
Yeah, so I mean,
Wasn't a
we're
problem before
learning
then.
with the mistakes of our past, so just wanted to let you know that we're working towards that, and you'll probably see an insurance claim coming through the district sometime in the near future, and give you every bit of information I can.
It's in good hands.
Great, Sean. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. Wonderful motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Aye, wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
What we got